I loved working with Marlene Matlin.
Oh yes, same.
You know, just an Academy Award-winning actress. I loved working with Rue McClanahan. She was just a delight. And but I'd say my big highlight was working with Ray Charles.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Crazy. That was crazy. Well, the sun's a hot star, and Mercury's hot too. Venus is the brightest planet. We can sing along. And Earth's home to me and you.
Yeah.
Mars is the red one. Jupiter's most wide. Saturn's got those icy rings. And Uranus spins on its side. I want to stop right there.
For me, I was always, when I did Charm, I was very intent on, I was kind of a weirdo, shocking, but true. And I would kind of send messages through the camera because I knew I was going to basically go to space. Literally, if you think about it, there's a satellite up there. And I am being pixelated into millions of little particles and then reformed and appearing on your screen. That's so weird. Strange, right? So I was thinking I was like, I bet I can transmit messages to the viewer with my mind.
Well, WandaVision came out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, and I have no social media, so it was kind of happened in this weird, beautiful vacuum where I would go out with my mask on and with my kids to the grocery store, and I kind of started getting a sense when people started sending me those memes of me winking, my big mouth. So I kind of had a sense of it, but all I know is that the part was so delicious, and when I heard Witch, I was like, yeah, I think it's all led to this my whole life.
So they sent emails out to LA school departments, drama departments, and one of my best friends heard about it, got the audition, and was like, oh, it's a skinny dweeby guy, you would fit the part. I was like, fuck you. And I was like, yeah, let me do this. And he sent this to me at midnight, so at 1 a.m. I had to take this grainy photo from up here. And I look very much like I do on the ID, very grainy and pedophile-y. And I sent it in, and then the next day they were like, we would love to see you.
No matter what country I go to, it's always Canadians in those countries, Canadians that are traveling, Canadians that live there, friends of Canadians, but I've been privileged to be a part of some pretty huge movies in my life. Kim's Convenience, I swear to God, is still the #1 thing that I recognize.
Oh, yeah, I definitely come out of it in between takes. I've been very moved by people I've met who stay in character the entire time and continue with the accent and stuff. That's just such a vibe. But I'm actually kind of notoriously known for being really emotional and hysterical or angry or whatever it is, and then in between being like, what's up? So I don't know, I think it's just, again, being really emotionally connected to the character. I'm really feeling very invested in putting myself in that person's shoes. I've played a lot of characters that I don't agree with, whose choices I would absolutely not make, that I couldn't fathom making. And it's been one of the greatest pleasures of my life to put myself in that other person's shoes and find their humanity, even as I disagree with them. And I think that's really transformed me personally, to not take for granted so much my own personal perspective.
I did audition for Ian, but I was only 16, 15 years old at the time. It was a pretty intense role. The audition scenes were quite intense when it came to language and content. And I wasn't sure if that was a character that I wanted to play for the rest of, known for this character for the rest of my life. And I think even back then I kind of understood the gravity and the weight of that situation. And so I decided I didn't want to do it. And I turned it down. And so a couple months passed by, and they had asked a few times, and I was like, no, I don't think so, I'm not sure. And then the cast kept filling in, and I saw, Emmy was involved. I saw, I watched some of the original English series, and they sent me the scripts for the first couple episodes, and I read them, and they were phenomenal, and I was like, all right.
Firefly. I did love shooting Homeland very much as well. That was really satisfying.
I always have a hard time answering that question. I feel like the jobs that I've had, at least the 3 TV series in particular, have really fit where I was in my life. So USC was great. So welcome to Hollywood.
Okay, Kyokushin Karate was one of the big styles in Japan. It was founded by a man named Masatatsu Yama, and he was originally doing Shotokan, but he was a big guy, and he was very powerful. So it's a style that's kind of based on power and to be able to take and give out some punishment. So when I was young, I was attracted to that. I had some issues with my dad, and I had a hard time when I was a young boy. So I was trying to kind of feel powerful and feel, strong, and that's why I picked martial arts, that particular art.
I don't know which is easier. I mean, he was so good, and we both knew the fun of that we were bickering at each other, but when we looked up at this thing that we imagined we were seeing, we both kind of were drawn to it in the same way. So it's always good to work with a great actor.
I love it. Make some noise for the late great Bill Paxton.
It's a really lucky situation, like to not take it for granted. And so and yeah, you mentioned my grandparents, my grandmother Jean and my grandfather Rance, and they just had really extraordinary values and were able to raise child actors and keep the family intact, and I'm very proud to be a Howard.
I had a series on ABC that was canceled on a Wednesday morning. They called and they said, "Don't bother coming to work. We pulled the plug." That's what they do. It's as quiet and brutal as that. I went out to dinner that night with my manager, crying in my beer, trying to take the cancellation as personally as I possibly could. And Larry David's office had called. We all know the casting director there. Had called and said we had this role for John tomorrow if he wants it. It's just a guest star, and I said to my manager, I said, "Tell them no." I said, "I'm still licking my wounds off of the whole being canceled that day." Well, my manager never called, and at 10:30 the following morning said they have the table read and they're waiting for you. So get your butt over there and do it. Now, had I not done it, I would have disappeared into a cultural vacuum somewhere.
The casting directors are wonderful, and they really become your champion.
Of course.
So, I don't really remember I remember auditioning for My Cousin Vinny, but I don't remember too much about it. That is a flaw. I don't have a very good memory. I know that Joe wound up seeing the tapes at the time they would film you in person there, and he wound up choosing me. At least that's what he says.
I mean, of course. I mean, if I was your question, I'd be like, no, I chose her.
If I tried to eat a donut, my son would probably knock it out of my hand. I have to go with tacos.
Okay, tacos. Nice. You have a donut shop, though.
Yeah, we do. They keep me out of it.
I Like Warm Hugs is one of those lines that transcends. So long after I'm gone,
which will be a long time from now.
Which whatever I'm fighting right now could be very soon.
Stop it.
That line will still exist in the vernacular. I hope. I think it will.
Absolutely.
When I finally do, it's summer!